Hello everybody, my name is Erik van Beurden from MSI, and today we're going to do our first reseller webinar. This was on the request of a lot of resellers and websites, asking us, hey, can you tell a little bit about your new products? So today we're going to do this about our new B450 platform. I have the agenda here. One moment, sorry. Everything what we're going to show you is under NDA. This means for a few days because next week, Tuesday, the new AMD platform will launch. What we're going to talk today about. The agenda for today, first we're going to talk with Don from AMD. He's going to explain a little bit about the new platform, the new features for the platform, the second generation Ryzen CPU. Then I will explain a little bit about our motherboard lineup, what you can expect in the coming months. Then one of our engineers, Henry, he will explain a little bit about what we improved on our products compared to last generation based on your feedback. Then I'm going to talk about the shipping schedule. We have some nice actions for resellers, and then I still have a sneak peek of a new upcoming platform. So this presentation will take about 45 minutes. In case of any questions, just drop them in the live chat. I see already somebody doing audio check. No need, everything is working fine. We are checking the chat. So if any questions, just drop them there, and we will pick them up. But I want to try to keep everything under 1 hour. Let's continue with our first guest from AMD. Don, are you there?
Hey Eric, I'm here.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning to you, man.
How are you?
How are things?
I'm fine. I'm fine. So you're based in Austin, working for AMD. How long already?
I've been working for AMD for almost 4 years. I'm actually based in Canada. I'm in Austin at the moment. We've got some lots of stuff going on down here, but generally I'm from Ontario, Canada. Okay,
can you maybe explain a little bit about your role inside AMD?
Sure. I'm in the what's called the business unit group. I do desktop processor marketing, so a lot of the basic messaging for our products, and we plan out products. The next gen stuff. We work in the roadmap, make sure that it's the kind of thing that our users would enjoy, and fun stuff like that. So it's been a real fun 4 years for me, and
so you're the expert to talk to today.
I'm one of the experts.
Yeah.
So I'll do what I can.
Yeah, so can you, because I have some slides prepared, can you maybe explain a little bit about your CPU lineup? Because there are a lot of transitions going on right now.
There are, yeah. So last year we launched with the 1000 series, and our first Ryzen CPUs in the 1000 series, none of them had built-in graphics.
Yeah.
But still very high performance. Of course, we disrupted the market with more cores and more threads and more processing power than people ever had access to in a lot of these segments. And then early this year on desktop, we launched the 2000 series with the Ryzen with Radeon Vega graphics, or Ryzen G, I like to call it.
Yeah, I have one here.
A G in the exactly.
Like
it's all good. So if you see a G in the model name, you know it has that Radeon Vega graphics built in. We have by far the highest performance built-in graphics on desktop. That means you can actually game at 1080p with any of these parts. The Ryzen 3 2200G is really low MSRP, so it's a great way to get into gaming, especially esports at 1080p gaming. And then we've got the Ryzen 5 2400G that you've got the box there.
Yeah.
And that's a little more aspirational, but there isn't a game we've tested so far that we can't play at 1080p, usually medium to low settings, but it's a great way to get into gaming without buying a graphics card.
Yeah, then, as I understand correctly, you're using the same drivers as from your desktop GPUs, right? So all the latest games are supported.
Of course, yeah. It's all that same Radeon goodness, driver goodness that you get. I mean, I think there was an article that just came out that showed that Radeon drivers are now the most stable. I wish I had the link for you guys, but if you do a quick Google search, it's really interesting. We've come a long way. We've invested a lot in our driver ecosystem.
Yeah, okay. And then you also have the second generation without graphics inside, just launched.
Right, so we've got the 2000 series, or the second gen Ryzen, and these parts are based on the new smaller 12 nanometer process, higher clock speeds, a little more IPC, and at the end of the day, they're just we really upped the ante with our gaming performance, basically achieving parity with the competition. But we still have a really nice multi-threaded win, and that really helps. Like if you try to do game streaming while you're playing to OBS, Ryzen 5 2600, you'll drop 0% of frames.
Ja,
and
I have
on,
here
like,
one 2600X.
Yep. And on the competition Core i5 parts that are half the threads, you can drop up to 82% of frames or so.
Yeah,
so
maybe that's...
yeah. So it's really kind of a great prop.
Oh, yeah. Let's open up the box here, then we can see what's inside. Because I think I think all of them are now shipping with CPU coolers.
Yes, every second gen. So every 2000 series second gen Ryzen comes with a cooler, and all the Ryzen Gs come with a cooler. We heard feedback from the market that they would have preferred coolers on some of our Ryzen 1000 series. So we heard you guys. We're adding coolers to all of them, and we have by far the best coolers that come with CPUs in the market, all the way from the top end Ryzen 7 2700X that comes with the Wraith Prism.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like you've got a Wraith Spire there.
Yeah.
So that's down with the Ryzen 7 2700 and the 2600X.
I actually have one in the system over here.
Oh, there you
if
go.
you can remove the slide. Yeah. That's the RGB LED version.
There you go. So the RGB version comes with the Ryzen 7 2700. So any Ryzen 7 second gen comes with an LED cooler, so you can control the colors and the lights. The Ryzen 5s don't come with the LED.
Yeah, looks really cool. And this is what everybody wants nowadays, right? RGB on everything.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so and
we've had a lot of great feedback.
If you look at the second generations, a lot of things improved, right?
Yeah, we've really almost every aspect of the processor has been improved. Like I said, we have higher clock speeds, we have higher efficiency, we have more IPC, and generally just pretty much all aspects of the processor. We still are the only processor manufacturer that uses a soldered heat spreader, which is really nice for overclockers, and it really keeps our temperatures down. It's funny, AMD used to have a bad rep when it comes to temperature, but now we have the coolest processors because of that feature.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, and we still offer unlocked multipliers on every single Ryzen, so it doesn't matter which processor you buy, you can overclock it as long as you have an enabled motherboard, which we'll talk about later. The B450, the B350, the X470, and the X370 are all multiplier unlocked. Even our low-end A320 boards have unlocked memory.
Okay, interesting.
Overclock.
Yeah.
So, but they won't allow you to overclock the CPU.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So if you talk about the CPUs, you made a really good step forward. I also saw that it was selected as best gaming CPU at Tom's Hardware. Quite impressive. So, but what about the chipsets? Because you introduced also the X470 is new and the B450. So what are the differences over there? Okay,
so in our first gen, the X chipsets, the X370, its main advantage over the B350 was that it had PCIe bifurcation, so you can use multiple graphics cards with full bandwidth. But if you want to save money and you're not using dual graphics cards, the B350 was the way to go. It has all the unlocked overclockability. It's really the most accessible enthusiast class motherboards out there. And then with this next gen, so what we did really, I would say the biggest difference between the 400 series and the X470 was that the motherboard manufacturers like MSI learned a lot of lessons in 2017. That was our first platform ever where we used DDR4. So a lot of that got faster. We got faster biases, and I think MSI and the other manufacturers kind of learned how to optimize memory. So memory tends to work a lot faster now.
Yeah, I also have later we have an engineer, Henry, an R&D PM, product manager, and he will explain what we did for memory optimizations, and actually he will show some benchmarks what the improvements are, and really they're like up to 15%. So that's quite interesting. So you have a very competitive stack against competition. I also see something called Store MI. Can you tell a little bit about that technology?
I'd love to. StoreMI is one of those things where if you don't know what it is, you're really not doing yourself justice. If you're a gamer like me and you have too many games you bought on Steam sales and you don't have space in your PC, you have to make a decision at some point. Pretty much everybody runs an SSD with the operating system because that's really fast, but you don't get a lot of capacity. They're really small drives.
Yeah.
And then you've got a really large hard disk, but the trade-off is those large hard disks are slower. And
I know you always need to pick, which game you want to play, and you don't want to wait until it's loading. So either move games around or uninstall them. It's very annoying. Yeah.
Yeah, it is very annoying, and that's if you're knowledgeable, right? If you're somebody who doesn't understand PCs, let's say you're a reseller and you have customers who don't know, they'll just keep installing things on C till it fills up, and then they're going to install things on D.
With all the frustrations and the negative feedback, hey, your system is slow.
Yeah, exactly. So what we did with StoreMI is we took technology from high-end servers where they do something called drive tiering. Now this is not caching. I'm sure everyone's heard of SSD caches on hard disks. It doesn't really work that well. Caching tends to take a little more processing power. It's not as efficient. But this server technology called drive tiering is really interesting. What it does is it moves the file blocks you move the most permanently to the SSD. So it doesn't cache them and hold them and then have to flush the cache, and then you get some holdups and inefficiencies. It just looks at what you do the most and moves those blocks, those raw blocks, to the SSD. And at the end of the day, if you run something 2 or 3 times, your system will know that you run it a lot, and it will run like it's on the SSD all the time. So your OS boots like an SSD. All your apps and games that you run like they're off an SSD. It's really so convenient if you've ever had this problem.
And the user doesn't have to do this. This is automatically in the background, correct?
Correct. I mean, you have to install the software,
of course,
but after you install it, it's just goes on its own. And the other benefit is you only see one operating system, one drive, I should see, in the OS. So if you have an SSD and a hard disk, it'll show up as just a C drive. You never have to worry about managing anything. Yeah. It's really convenient. It works great. I've used it, and I won't go back. Once you've used it, it's just so convenient, and it works so well.
So maybe, am I correct if I say so? The files you don't need to access frequently, like maybe some pictures or something, you store them more. They are moved automatically to the slow hard drive, and games or the operating system, it's more stored on the SSD. And dynamically it can move around.
Yeah, okay. Dynamically it takes care of it for you. The beauty of it is the limit of the SSD is 256 gigs. That might not sound huge, but it's a lot larger than, let's say, the competitive Optane solution, which is limited to about 118 gigs, I think, on a very expensive Optane stick.
I have the slide about Optane here now.
Gotcha. So what the benefit of this is, it's totally free, and it's not proprietary. You can use any SSD and any hard disk, so there's no restrictions whatsoever. And 256 gigs of SSD might not sound like a lot, but it's a lot when you think about the files you actually use. So your operating system might be 30 to 50 gigs, but you're really only using a few gigs of that when you boot up on a regular basis. Games, like an 80 gig game install, we did tests, and really it's only using about 3 gigs of that game. So that 256 goes a really long way. And then over time, as you use different games, as you maybe stop playing one and start playing another, it's just intelligent enough to manage all this for you, and it just works so well. Another advantage we have is we actually have a RAM cache. So our RAM cache, if you want to enable that, is actually faster than Optane. And once again, you don't have to buy anything extra. It's just the hardware you've already got. The other final bonus is that you can install this later. So let's say you just bought a mechanical hard disk and installed your operating system. You can buy an SSD later, install it in the system, and then couple them in StoreMI. You don't have to reinstall and do any craziness. It's really quite convenient. So a lot of good bonuses.
And this is so I'm correct if this is one of the new things on the 400 series, correctly?
Yeah. So every 400 series carries this for free. So an X470 or the new B450 boards, this is 100% free. You just download the software, install it, and off you go. Even if you have a 300 series board, there's a $20 option if you have an older system and you want to install it. But with the 400 series, this is free.
Okay,
so
interesting.
Nice technology for folks, and I really like it for. I think it's more important for this segment because it's nice to give enthusiasts in the in the entry enthusiast segment something that they can really see a technology difference with, whereas people in the high end segments might have more money for more expensive SSDs in the first place. This lets everybody have access to storage acceleration technology, which is really cool.
And any suggestion how resellers can promote this? Because I already saw somebody was selling Optane as memory, like 32 gig of memory, which is not really memory. Because I think this is really an interesting proposition, value proposition to customers. So, because especially in the B450 segment, you don't buy a $5,000 USD PC. It's more like $399 to $699, I would say. So those people also don't have a big budget for SSDs.
Yeah, exactly. And the resellers, I would think that we have an AMD partner hub for AMD partners and resellers. We have assets to advertise this kind of stuff. You can just let your customers know, hey, if you go with AMD, we're happy to sell you the SSDs and hard disks that enable StoreMI. You don't have to spend any extra money. It's a non-proprietary system. So as a reseller, you can pick the drive companies that you're comfortable working with, and the models, and just let people know that this is a bonus. You might even want to charge them to install StoreMI if they're not comfortable with that install, even though it's quite simple. So I'm sure there's ways you fellows can figure out how to get some value out of it. But
nice. I'm checking if there are any questions. So far, I don't see any questions. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for joining and for all the information. And I'm sure soon we will see more from AMD, right?
Absolutely. We have some big stuff coming in the next couple months, so keep your eyes open. And we've already announced the 32-core Threadripper. That's on the horizon. That's coming soon. So, like I say, just pay attention. It's going to be an interesting end of year.
Okay. Thank you, Don. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Eric. See you later.
Okay, so that was Don from AMD. He talked about the CPU, the platform. I'm now going to talk a little bit about what MSI is offering on the mainboard side. Because we're going to have a lot of B450 models, and I want you to really know how they stack up and where they fit in. A moment. Somebody else will fix that, Peter. How the mainboards fit into the stack. Because we also have the X470 motherboards. I'm sure there are still some X370 mainboards on the market. We have the B350 motherboards, B450, and then you also have the A320. So let me first start with the with our segmentation, because I think for you it's important to know how in MSI we divide the different segments. First of all, on the high end we have the enthusiast segment. We call the master the game, the gaming M5, the M7 are located positioned inside this segment. Then for the performance segment, the more affordable gaming segment, we have the what we call the gaming style, the performance. So later some examples about that. And then at the bottom of the gaming stack, we have our Arsenal series. There you find typically the Bazooka, the Mortar, the Tomahawk motherboards. Micro ATX motherboards also. And besides that, we have our Pro series. And our Pro series are mostly for the people who are not really gamers. We just look at office PC or business PC. They still have some features, but not the special gaming features we find in the other platforms. So if we talk, now I'm going to show you some examples in each of these segments. So, for example, in the enthusiast segment, you will find on the AMD side our X470 Gaming N7. It's a high-end gaming motherboard based on the X470 chipset. Has everything on there. 2 M.2 coolers attached to the heatsink. Wi-Fi. A lot of phases for overclocking. It supports, of course, Crossfire or SLI. A lot of RGB LED. So this is one of the mainboards located in the high-end segment. If we then go to the next segment, which is called our performance, and it's easily recognizable on the logo segment. you will find our Gaming Pro Karma mainboards. I think they got a lot of traction in the market, so I'm sure you know them. And this is gaming style. So gaming style, what we're talking about is personalization, you know. People who want to customize their PC, who want to be different than others. So normally they also buy a case with tempered glass, you know, so they can see the inside. Yeah, so for this we have one X470 motherboard, and later I will show you our B450 Gaming Pro Carbon AC motherboard for this B450 generation. Then we have what we call our Red Gaming motherboards, Red Gaming DNA. We also have X470 boards over there, but also let me see, this one, which is our B450 Gaming Plus. So you see nice black look and feel with a little bit red highlights. So these mainboards are in our located in our performance segment. So not really the high end. This one, for example, doesn't have any Wi-Fi. Still decent I/O panel. You see over here HDMI, DVI. So a lot of connectivity for the gaming monitors. The PCI Express slot is forced with what we call steel armor, and I think this is important for resellers and system integrators. I mean, a lot of times you guys are selling a PC and it needs to be transported, and you know, VGA cards are getting heavier and heavier, and that's why we came up with this idea. We reinforce the PCI Express slot, so a VGA card will not break out of it, so you don't have RMA before the system arrives at the customer. So, of course, you have all the USB 111 Gen 2 connectors, let me see over here, audio connectors. So, really nice gaming motherboard, RGB LED, well, I cannot show you like this. Then, also, this is what I always call the little sister. A Mini ITX B450i Gaming Plus AC. AC for MSI also always stands for Wi-Fi. So in the back you see the Wi-Fi module already here. So this is with Intel wireless LAN. So you really get good connectivity also indoors. 2 memory DIMMs, and this is really nice motherboard to build your home theater PC. Your small system is also a big trend nowadays, you know, to build smaller systems. And yeah, it comes with all connectivity, DisplayPort, HDMI, this one also with killer LAN, yeah, enough SATA slots, and also steel armor over here, as you can see in the bottom. So really nice board, and I'm sure this one will do really well, because we always have a lot of requests for those Mini ITX boards. So that is our performance segment, which is in the middle of the stack, and then we go to our Arsenal gaming motherboards. So Arsenal gaming motherboards are, you know, I don't want to say the entry-level main boards, but you know, they don't have a lot of features, very affordable, but still gaming features, and I think that's important. And what we did over there, let me take some of those main boards over here. You know, very attractive look and feel. You know, this looks like a tank, the armor plates, etc. So it really appeals to the gamers. If you talk about gaming features over here, you also have LAN connector. What we did with the LAN comes also with bandwidth management. So what gamers need when they play a game online, you know, they need a low ping, and when there are, you know, they talk on Discord or they talk on TeamSpeak. They have YouTube on the background to listen to some audio, and that they all do during gaming. Sometimes even they upload some items. So giving the right program priority is very important for gamers, and that's why these kind of mainboards come with software to prioritize your games, you know, to give them higher priority. And the same we have over here with the B450. I have too many models over here. Let me see. This one. This is our Tomahawk mainboard. So let me. Where did I leave it? Yes. So basically, like this. Basically, more or less the same boards. If you look at Tomahawk and Bazooka, the difference is that Bazooka is micro ATX and Tomahawk is ATX. So also this motherboard, RGB LED on there, special audio, separated audio layers. I hope you can see it like this. So the audio circuitry is separated, so they really get good, clean audio. Also comes with audio capacitors, the brown ones, which gives a really warm sound. And audio for gamers is really important because you don't want to get knifed on the battlefield. People want to win, and audio makes the game really immersive. Also, if we look at the I/O panel over here, this one comes with, I'm not sure if you can see it here at the bottom, USB 3.1 Gen 2 Type C. So the new connector already, if you look into the new telephones, for example, Samsung S8 of Galaxy S8, they have this connector. So it's already on the motherboards. Plenty of USB connectors for connectivity also to the front of the case. And what you also see over here is our big heatsink. And later with our engineer, we will talk more about that. Let me put this away. And then our last segment are our Pro motherboards. Like what I already told you, these are more for office usage. I have them here as well. I will just leave them in the box. They're already on the website. Yeah, so they're already on the website. So one micro ATX, one ATX. If you over here, VDH. A lot of people ask me, what is VDH? Well, VDH is video, which is basically D sub. D is DVI and H is HDMI. So this way it's very easy to recognize what the connectors are. So we also have a VD board. It doesn't come with HDMI. So this way, very easy to know what kind of output is on the motherboard. So like what I already said, let's look at the back of one of these models. You see the features. Not a lot of special features for gaming. Still, it has audio boost. Comes with the PCI Express steel armor, because you don't want that the VGA cards break the slot. Also comes with DDR4 boost, and later I'm going to talk more about that. And Turbo M.2, and Turbo M.2 basically means M.2 connector with PCI Express 3 Gen 4. Of a Gen 3 X4, so you get the maximum bandwidth for NVMe devices. And I believe nowadays more and more devices are shipping with an M.2 SSD, because that way you don't have any cables which can lose. Just screw in the main boards, very small, doesn't take a lot of space. And if I look at the price in the market, M.2 SSDs, about on the same level as they have for the normal 2.5 inch SSDs. So let's look at our roadmap. I'm checking if there are any questions. I see something, audio volume dropped. Can you check? I see Don is also answering some questions. Very good, Don. Appreciate it. Thanks. Okay. Yeah, so if we are going to look into our stack, here you see our X470 motherboards. Like what I already told you, there are more positions in the high-end segment. So we have one motherboard in our enthusiast segment, and we have 4 models in our performance segment. If we then look to the new B450 motherboards, which will officially launch next week, Tuesday, the 31st of July, you see we have in 4 different segments, we have the motherboards positioned. So there we have the gaming motherboards. We talk about Gaming Pro Carbon AC. Later I'm going to talk about that one. I didn't show it to you yet. So this one over here. Let's go later in detail. Then we have our the purple ones. These are the Tomahawk, the Mortar, these kind of motherboards. I showed you, micro ATX, really nice models. And then at the bottom of the stack you find our B450 Pro motherboards. What is very important not to forget is the B350 models, because B350, it will just continue. I think B350 at least until the end of the year, maybe even running into Q1 of 2019, B350 will be on the market. So Don from AMD already explained what the main difference is. Of course, a lot of optimizations, and yes, he's right. MSI, the mainboard vendors, and MSI as well. We learned a lot from the first generation Ryzen information how to develop a mainboard. So these mainboards have massive improvements. Later, again, we will talk with Henry about this. But it also comes at a premium, you know, more phases, the bigger heat sinks, etc. So if you look at B350 compared to B450, I think the price gap is about $15 to $20. So for sure, B450 is important to adapt in your assortment, especially in the high end, you know. But B350 still important, very affordable. And also important, Ryzen 2 CPUs, even the 2400G with the Vega graphics inside, work without any problem, you know, without any BIOS update as well. So, if there are any, volume is getting better. So, if there are any questions about the lineup, you know, just ask them in the chat. Somebody is asking, what about performance? Funny guy. Can it run Crysis? Yes, they all can run Crysis. So, let me check if Henry is already available. Henry?
Hi, Eric.
Hi,
Eric.
Hi, how are you?
Hey.
Good.
I'm good, thank you.
So you're live from Taipei. What's the time over there in Taiwan?
Unfortunately, this is 10:30 at night.
10:30, okay. So you need to tell your boss tomorrow that you work late.
I should.
So
Maybe you tell him.
I will send him a screenshot. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Okay, so Henry, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? What is your job? What's your role in MSI?
Yeah, I'm project manager. Work in MSI for the past 11 years, and also learning something new from all the partners, and also from you. Okay. That's what I do, and normally I work in the headquarters with the BIOS and the hardware R&D engineer to talk about the innovation, the ideas, and how to do it, and how to improve a lot of the quality and also the reliability on our product.
Because I know you also a lot of times in Europe, you visit always a lot of customers, resellers. You go to them with a new platform, you listen to their feedback, and then you go back to the engineers, to the BIOS team, and you tell them, hey, this needs to improve, and this we need to look at. Of course, you know, we cannot fix everything, but a lot of times, you know, each generation, we make good steps into the right direction.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I also learn a lot from them.
Okay, good. So this is one of our models for the B450. I didn't show to everybody yet. This is our B450 Gaming Pro Carbon AC, one of the more higher end models. It's possible, you know, this is the lineup what we're introducing now, and everything is shipping, so this will be available from distributors soon. But it is possible that later we have some more models, you know, maybe some higher end model, maybe some models in the product stack, but that's all for later. So really nice motherboard, black look and feel with carbon inlays. One of the things, Henry, you know, what we improved this generation was core boost. Can you tell me a little bit about this?
Yeah, core boost is the first thing I want to mention because it is very important. You know, AMD since last year they launched the Ryzen, the first generation, and the CPU performance getting powerful. So we're so dedicated on the power solution to make sure the CPU runs well, runs reliable. So it contains the digital power IC control, okay, and very good premium power phase design for the 8-core CPU, 6-core CPU from the Ryzen 7, Ryzen 5, and also we optimize the schematic routing between CPU and the memory side. So that's a kind of reliable technology from MSI.
And when you talk about these optimizations, then you really talk about, let me see how it's visible, very difficult. So you talk about the VRM, which is located here below the heat sinks.
Yeah.
Talk about the MOSFETs, the number of phases, the quality of that. And it's all about the power delivery to the CPU, right? Because I also noticed here you have let me see, over here there are 2 connectors. Normally there's only one for CPU, right?
Yeah. And yeah,
So
that's
what about
all
that?
about it's all about to provide a reliable power draw when you're doing the high performance computing and also the overclocking. And we all know that Ryzen 7, Ryzen 5, all are overclockable CPU.
Yeah. Don already talked about that. He said, you know, not only X470, what you would expect, but also B450 can overclock, and all the CPUs, you know, are unlocked.
Yes, all unlocked based on the B450 and also the X470.
Yeah.
So that's a benefit and an advantage from the mainstream platform like B450.
Yeah. So, but this also generates some heat, huh? So that's also why we have this massive heatsink over here, right?
Yeah. We call it extend heatsink.
Yeah.
As you can see, we enlarge the surface to make sure we have a great contact between heatsink and the MOSFET, and to deliver the overheating through the thermal pad to the extend heatsink. They got a high efficiency of the thermal dissipation, so that's why we suggest to use extend heatsink when you're doing the overclocking. Yeah. And plus, you of course you need a very good airflow to take away the heat. Of course, to make sure the system is reliable. Yeah.
I think all the system builders know that, you know, it's not just putting a main button, a VGA card in the case. Airflow is most important, you know, because heat sinks or, you know, nothing without airflow, nothing can cool because the hot air needs to be removed from the system. And what I also noticed, let me check this, you know, this extended heatsink, it's not only on the high-end models, but also on these Arsenal models. So over here, you also see this extended heatsink. So basically, the bigger the surface, the more heat it can remove, dissipate. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Something I also noticed, feature, system saver. This was quite interesting.
Yeah, you know, AMD is catching up the consumer market quite fast. So I think Ryzen 7 last year they update the CPU and the chipset time to time, and users they have to update the BIOS time to time, of course. So we have we think about why not we provide an easy way for the end user to update their BIOS just without the new CPU, without the just use the USB key, just press the button on the rear I/O, they can upgrade the BIOS.
Yeah, because I heard about this. You know, AMD they have a new CPU. They bring this on the market, and then misschien main. They bring this on the market, and then it doesn't work in the main bus because the main bus needs the BIOS update. But you cannot do the BIOS update because the CPU is not working. So that's a big issue. And AMD was already shipping out some I don't know how they call it, but rescue kits or something, you know, with a CPU you could borrow and then you could flash your board. But basically what we now did, you just connect the power to the board. You don't have to put the CPU in. And then you push a button on the back of the I/O panel. And then you put first you put the USB key in with the BIOS, and then you push a button, and then your system gets flashed without the CPU.
Without CPU, and just less than 1 minute, the BIOS update is done, and that's perfect.
Yeah. So for a system integrator, very easy. No need to put the CPU on the cooler. Just and install basically the system to flash it. They need to get access to the BIOS, hard drive, etc. It's just power connectors, no CPU, USB key with BIOS, with the latest BIOS you can find on our website. Push the button and done.
And done. That's just way the easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you saw, but with Don we also talked about memory. And if you look at this board, I know when AMD introduced the first generation Ryzen CPUs, there was a lot of people complaining about memory compatibility, the memory speed. the gaming speed, you know, and AMD improved a lot on that. But I think we also did something special with that. Can you tell me a little bit about A-XMP?
Yeah, sure. Before AXMB, I want to highlight our, kind of a legacy, traditional, technical, we call it DDR4 boost.
Oh,
okay?
yeah. It's here on the PCB.
Yes, exactly. That's a hardware level. We have optimized the premium routing between CPU, the memory controller to the memory socket.
So the traces. Because the memory controller is in the CPU.
Yes.
Okay.
And based on the hardware design DDR4 boost, we have innovated our AXMP feature inside the BIOS, and that is the XMP compatible technology and even premium than before, and make sure AMD platform can work with the XMP memory very well.
Basically, Intel XMP memory.
Yeah.
Okay,
basically,
cool.
They are compatible. Yeah.
And because about DDR4 boost, you know, I still remember like 5 years ago, DDR3 MSI was really terrible, you know. I mean, nothing to be proud on, but it's good that we listen and we improve. Because it was really really bad memory compatibility, and now we're one of the best. So something you can be proud of. A-XMP, really nice feature. But I also want to talk a little bit about, you did already some tests with B450, the platform, with the new CPUs. Can you tell me a little bit about this? Because I saw by default it's doing 75 frames per second, but you can go even up to like 88, right?
Yes. I'd like to show you the performance chart here. We run some testing based on the gaming by B450 board and the Ryzen 5 2600X. We just trying to squeeze the performance from the CPU side and also the memory. So what we do, we're doing a CPU overclocking up to 4 gigahertz, and also we're using one of our overclocking solution. We call it memory triad, and in fact we are using a 2133 megahertz DDR4, and we boost up to 2666, and that's why we can squeeze another 15% of performance out of the system.
Okay, maybe let's watch a movie for this, because you see it running.
One movie. Yeah, we have a movie there.
Yeah, running now a movie. I see a 2600 XOC to 4.2 with memory triad doing 72 frames per second, and then SOC setting is only 62. So it's a big difference.
Yes. That's a big difference.
And I think this is really important, because if you're a gamer, you know, you always want minimum 60 frames per second, but at the same time you want ultra settings, you know, you want the high settings to enjoy the visual candidly. 62 FPS, sometimes there's maybe a scene which will drop to 59 or maybe even 47, you know, and then with 72, I think you're much more safe. So yeah, quite impressive and very interesting.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and of course I prepared another benchmark based on the B350 and also the 2400G, which is the Raven Ridge with a Vega graphics core inside. That also based on the same condition, CPU overclocking. I have a slide here. 4.2 gigahertz, and you're also using the memory triad to overclock the DDR4 to 2666, and also we can do another 15% performance in this system. And that's also amazing to prove that a B350 is still a good platform for the some budget users.
This is integrated graphics, right? So the new Vega 2400G. So this is really impressive that you almost 60 FPS.
Yes, it's integrated graphics.
Yeah, right. And so this is all because of the memory optimizations, right?
Yes, of course.
Because you also told me now, I have a slide on the screen that we did more than what is it? More than 1,000 kits validation.
Yeah.
So your team is doing this.
Yeah, my team. We have
you
a
sound
dedicated
tired.
Yeah, still in office, I guess. So they're working on the memory qualification time to time, year by year. So since 3 or 4 years ago, we start to catching up on the overclocking memory modules, and right now we already qualified over 1,000 memory kits on the market. You can look for. And that is reliable data and information for the resellers, for the end users. They can choose any memory modules they can find in the market.
Yeah. So, and I think it's especially important because AMD, memory compatibility is always behind, and we already have A-XMP, so what our competitors don't have. And then you have all the validation for the memory kit. So it's very easy for a reseller to go to our website, check your QVL list, the qualified vendor list. And there are all brands, right? It's not only the big expensive one.
No.
Can you mention some brands?
Well, I think there's at least 20 partners.
Okay.
Work with our team, and this is a non-stop effort. So maybe next year we can get more.
Okay, so if there's any reseller or system integrator and they have a problem with memory, for some reason it doesn't boot or they can call you?
Of course.
Okay, good. That's what I want to hear. Okay, so because I want to go to the system. That's also something, we have a slide for this. Sorry, I'm telling Peter he's clicking all the slides, so he knows when to switch. Because RGB LED is also very important, and I think not everybody knows this, but MSI was the first one with RGB LED on a motherboard, godlike, and we're very sorry for this because we started this craze, that everybody wanted RGB LED also on the motherboard. First was only on your gaming mouse. And after godlike, it took a hype. Everybody started with it, and then we brought it to lower end platforms. But it didn't stop with that because we developed our ecosystem for Mystic Light, what we call Mystic Light Sync. So you are also running this program, right, with other vendors and the compatibility, so that basically when you have a PC from our software, one software, you can control all the LEDs, no matter if it's memory, the fans, the water cooling. Can you tell a little bit about that?
Yep. It's also a big, another big challenge to R&D side, because everybody's following MSI to design the RGB peripherals and also the core devices like SSD, memory, and also the system fan, chassis, everything. So we work with our partners to break down all the items to face into our software, which is the Mystic Light 3. Yeah. And we fine tune the firmware, the API, the SDK, and also the utility itself. That is also a non-stop working for the RGB technical features.
Why do you have time to talk with me? You are a very busy man.
I want to talk to you.
Okay,
that's all. Okay. And I want to introduce all the innovation and features to our friends and to our partners. Yeah, a lot.
Okay, so here we have a system. So it's a new B450 Game Pro Carbon. So basically, this mainboard, which is inside this one, it's actually also our case, the pylon case. You can find it on the website. Nice case with tempered glass. I didn't put it in front of it. It comes with RGB LEDs in the front. Now they're flashing red. We have memory over here. We have the AMD cooler, the Prism cooler over here, which is bundled with 2700X, I believe. Really nice setup, and everything is controllable from our software. So let me check if there are any questions for Henry. And yeah, I mean, if you run into a kit without any compatibility, just email Henry or just contact us via product marketing, and we will get it to him to fix this. Henry, at this moment I don't see any questions, so I want to thank you for your time. You can go back either to the office or to your kids or to bed. You can choose. I will send a screenshot to your boss that you work late.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. So that was Henry from our R&D department, and yeah, like what we already said, he's visiting a lot of resellers. So this moment he's in Taiwan, but for each generation, he's touring around in Europe, and your feedback is really important. So if you have any complaints, for during assembly to make things easier, or installing software, or how the package is, let us know, then we can work on it. I'm not going to promise we're going to fix it, because there are always a lot of factors involved. Also the next generation, it takes time to put on the market, but we're open to this, we're listening, and really working on improving the models. So one thing I still want to show you is what our plan are in the coming weeks. So here is a lineup of all the models. So a lot of models, they're all shipping right now. I think most are container shipments, either to your distributors, and some of you already ordered. If you don't know about this, please talk to your local MSI sales rep, or talk to your distributor. They can help. They know exactly what model they get in. So these are the performance models. Then we have the Arsenal models we talked about. They're already, I think most models are already on the website, so you can find all the specifications. And we also have a wizard on the website, so it's very easy. If you want the B450 model, but you want some, for example, you want some with Wi-Fi, or you want mini ITX, we have it. I showed you already. Or you want a special model, with dual LAN, just use the wizard on our website, and it will filter down the right model for your business. On top of that, we also have the Pro models. So everything is shipping right now, what I told you already. Besides that, don't forget about B350. We already talked about it. B350, I think the best cost performance ratio at this moment in the market, and it will still continue until the beginning of next year. Not exactly when, but let's say Q1 2019. For this, to help you, for this introduction, we have a lot of materials. Of course, we have product photos, we have the reseller product pages, reseller videos with subtitles. We have an info kit. Basically, the slides I showed you are from the info kit, so you know a little bit what to expect. But basically, it's a training, the background about the product. We have brochures, we have banners, all the digital materials. You can find them if you go to DAM, Digital Asset Management, dam.msi.com. You can download it there. The data sheets, for example, you can find on a web page. If you go to the product page, you find a model, you go to specification. Let me see. Yeah, it's specifications, the tab specifications. And you click on download data sheet, you get this kind of data sheets, and it has all the product specs, the basic product specs, the features, and IO panel. So it gives you enough information for a pitch to your customers. If you want detailed information, all the small specs, they're on the website. Each pin header is in the description. This is something what not everybody knows, but we got a lot of requests from resellers for this. Reseller product pages, because we see a lot of web shops, they have the basic specs online, but that's not really appealing for customers. And some of your content teams are already copying our website to your website, and this takes a lot of time. And we use scripts, we use interactive items, so sometimes your content teams need to redesign it to put it on your website. So what our marketing team did is they made special reseller websites. So very clean design, no complex HTML, CSS, and CSS, for those who know, is convertible. So your programmer will know. Just let's stick to that. It's you can adjust the length. It's easy translatable, and without any problem, you can just fit it in your website without any many changes. So it's very easy usable. And this will, give you premium content for your website. Just copy paste, and this will appeal to customers. Besides that, what we also started with this year, what we call reseller product videos, and they're 2-minute videos. Sometimes you will see me. 2-minute videos introducing our product. So we're just, we were talking about the 5 most important points, the positioning about the product. And we also provide to our local offices translations and subtitles, but also the audio files. So some offices, they just started with translating the subtitles and also doing voiceovers. So maybe you will see me speaking Spanish or some other language. And yeah, this is to increase the sellout at your site, because a lot of customers, they don't want specs anymore. They don't want, the product information. They want interactivity. That's also why YouTube now is booming. Also the streaming, Twitch, etc. is booming. People don't read anymore. They want to watch, an interactive story. And that's what we provide with these videos. And if you have any feedback, what you want, if they're too long, too short, if we should show more about the product and less about us, or like hands-on information, like what we do with how to place the M.2 SSD, in under 2 minutes, just let us know. Then for B450, B450 is a very affordable platform, very powerful platform. Don from AMD already talked about it. It's overclockable. Second Ryzen CPU works perfectly in high-end, low-end, it doesn't matter. Integrated graphics, discrete graphics. So we are going to run a campaign which starts on the 15th of August. Gamers don't die, they go live. So this is about the B450 platform combined with Ryzen 5 CPU for the streamers. There are a lot of people who want to start a streaming business. MSI will also introduce our streaming card soon. I'm not sure when. I already got a sample in. All these items combined, we're going to run a big campaign together with AMD, together with Cooler Master and HyperX memory. So this will target 40k unique visitors for our landing page in the first period. And yeah, you can also find all the assets. We also have some nice offers. I know a lot of people, out there, they didn't touch our B350 models. No problem. If you didn't do, and based on the sales data, if you buy 2 pieces of our B450 Gaming Plus, I need to check the model, then you get one B350M Pro VDH, Video DVI HDMI, remember, for free. And this is for selected regions, so please check with your distributor, check with your MSI sales rep. Not each country is doing this. But check with them, and a very interesting offer. Besides that, we're also running some social media campaign. If you as a reseller have do any promotion for MSI B450 on your social media, and I think I saw yesterday Facebook, in Europe they're going down, but you have Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. A lot of resellers also streaming. So a lot of social media channels. So please let us know, post to us, and you make chance to win one of our new X399 creation motherboards. And that's what I'm now going to show. So if there are any questions, new Mystic Light app UI, yes, absolutely. Michiel Schumann, yeah, that's what we're working on, because we've got a, like what I already told you, we were the first to start with RGB LED in the motherboard, and then you think, okay, this mainboard needs to work with RGB LED, and you have some ideas, and then more ideas come, more vendors come. You want to make it compatible with the memory, or mouses, keyboards. I have here one hidden away. Let me see, like this. Oh, the GK60, GK70, GK80. Yeah, you can see the RGB LED like this. This is GK70. Everything needs to work from one application, and then. The software, how do you say that, gets confusing, the interface gets messed up. So that's why we started, after a lot of feedback from media, from editors, from end users, we started to make a new UI, so completely redesigned from the ground on with all the IDs, because we still have a lot of IDs to come for this, so there's space for that. And this will launch with B450, so actually, I already have it, but you can see this from next Tuesday, the 31st, when the NDA runs. So one more thing what I want to show you. Let me put this away. This is already a sneak peek of our new let me do like this, of our new X399 creation motherboard. Like Don already talked about it during I think Computex beginning of June. They announced their 32 core, which is going to be massive, you know, very powerful. 32 cores. I already saw some benchmarks. Not allowed to talk about it, sorry, but you know it will blow everybody away. But this is going to mainboard you want to need, you know, you need to have for this. I'm going to show you the I/O panel, so you know it has everything what we talked about. Has a lot of features, a lot of PCI Express, a lot of connectivity. Over here and over here you have two M.2 slots, but that's it, you know, it's sneak peek, so more for next time. I think that's it for today. If there are any questions, please drop them in the chat. This was the first time we did a reseller webinar. You know, some people requested this. So if you have any feedback, please let us know. Productmarketing@msi.com. Give us your feedback, how we can improve this, what you want to see. We can do live demos, we can do tutorials. You know, if you have any feedback on about our products or ideas, you know, please feedback to us. It would be great to hear what you think about our products. And yeah, we're always open to improve our products. So that's it for today. I will still continue to be here in the chat, answering some questions if you have. Thanks for your time and have a good day. Bye bye.